Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Design with Destiny. And today we have Ayomide Ajibade. Ayo is a multidisciplinary product designer. He's also a Web3 and AI designer, and he has worked with amazing startup, raised revenue to almost 29 million plus through user-centered design, web and mobile. And today, Ayo would be joining us and taking us through his handoff process. Ayo, it's nice to have you. How are you doing today, buddy?
Hi, Destiny. Thank you so much once again. It's a privilege to be here, to be very honest.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks for taking the time. Just so you know, we started this video series to help a lot of other designers improve their craft, help them how to hand off better, help that connect that gap between engineering and design. So I just wanted to ask you, how do you prepare your designs for handoff when you're working with the designer? And before you even go into that, you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, thank you so much once again. Let me just give a quick intro. My name is Ajibade Ayomide, and I love to be called Midi just for short. So I'm a multidisciplinary product designer. I've been designing for over 5 years now in the tech industry. I actually transitioned from being a graphic designer to a product designer. So it's been a quite awesome experience for me, to be very honest. And I have had the privilege to work across, various industry in the tech field. I have worked with Web3 startups before, fintech, and a lot more, to be very honest. And I think one of my big flex is helping startups to, bootstrap and pushing them for a proceed through my design. So it's a very big flex for me. So yeah, I'm a very chill person. I'm also a design advocate. I love to talk about design a lot. If you've followed me enough, you know that, okay, I have a very big flex when it comes to speaking about design. So that is pretty much it about me. Thank you so much.
That was wonderful. So I'm guessing we just dive right into it. You share your screen and you just kind of walk us through, that process. How do you handle this handoff situation?
All right. Thank you so much. So let me just share my screen and show the world how I do my own design handoff. All right. All right. Thank you so much. So this is what it looks like, to be very honest. And I think there is one mindset I would like to correct when it comes to design handoff, right? Design handoff is not something we um, wait to finish design before pushing it for development. That way, it would be very wrong for designers to do, because I have noticed in the past that people just, have this mindset of waiting to design everything before they push it for development. At the end, it is either you get two results. Number one, you'll not be able to get a pixel perfect result, and number two, you have a lot of issues with your dev. So I would advise that before you hand over your designs, or what we call handover basically, I would advise that bring your developer, bring them from the very onset of the design. So let them see the process, let them see your decisions, let them see how you take things basically. So it helps the both parties to, to be connected in mind. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So this is how I do my thing, right? I have a separate, let's assume that I have a design, my normal design file here. So
Okay.
what I will do is to duplicate it. I will duplicate the design so it's not get messy for everybody, because I'm working with, almost the stakeholders, and everybody has access to this Figma file. So I just have to duplicate the design. Then this is basically for dev. So this is what I've already done before this meeting, right? So I will show us again. I will show us again how it works. So once you switch to the design mode, sorry, to developer mode
To developer mode. Yeah.
on Figma, you get to see, all of these things, right? You get to see, this is what I've done, right? I have, documented everything. Showing them the design spec, the spacing I used, the flow, the annotations, and all of those things. So I'm going to be showing us how I did, or how I was able to achieve all of these things. And yeah, let me switch back to the design mode.
To
So
design
I
mode.
prepared a short documentation of how I actually basically handle that. So I'll be taking this to one after the other, and I'll be showing us how I was able to achieve it. Achieve them.
Okay.
So the first thing is to keep your design well organized using sections. So I use sections a lot. It is pretty much very important. This is section. This is how it looks like. I mean, you can get to organize your design. So you necessarily don't even need all of these naming tags if you use section very well. You can get to name your designs well, and it keeps things well organized. The second thing
I
you want to do
notice
is,
you have some. Sorry, I notice you have different sections. So when you're organizing this list, what comes to your mind? Are you organizing based on like the feature or like the flow? How are you determining, which section goes into where?
yeah, I'm actually organizing based on the flow. So this is a
Okay,
shopping list flow. So say for instance, I want to maybe put in sections the authentication flow. So they will be in a separate flow. So I basically section my design based on flow, not based on features
nice.
basically.
Okay,
So that is how it worked for me. So the next step is that you want to duplicate your design file, which I've already mentioned earlier. You want to
shown earlier.
duplicate it for the dev for the developer guys. So the third step is to now document your design using the developer mode on Figma, which I'll still later show later on. And another thing to a plugin I normally use to show my flow like this. If you check, you see that I was showing my
Yeah.
flow. And this is a case whereby maybe I don't want to prototype yet. I can easily
Okay.
show my flow. So I use a plugin. It's called Autoflow plugin. It is very common amidst designers. So it helps a lot, and I'm going to show how I make use of it later on. So alternatives to my handover process is this. I firstly, there's actually a plugin that actually do or that does this thing better. I mean, the flow, the the annotations, all of those
Yeah.
things, spacing specs, and all of those things. There's this plugin that does it better if you don't want to be doing it one by one, right? So it is called 8 shape specs. I mean, I'm
Eight
going to be
shapes.
trying it yet. I'm going to be trying all of these things the in later on. I'm going to be trying
Okay.
it right. So we can get to see how it works. So, and yeah, lastly, if your developer is an English speaker, it is pretty much simple because I have worked with a lot of companies, and I realized that, I mean, people have developers are just like persons like us, right?
Yeah.
There's a way they work. So you have to understand how they work and how they want to be delivered to. So it helps you, like, tailor your work very well. So in my company right now, I sometimes do something. I'll just screen record my screen. I'll screen record the process. Screen record the process. It's pretty much simple for the person. The person requested for it, right? So I just screen
Okay.
record my process, explaining each features and each flow. Then after I'm done with that, I'll just upload it in a Google Drive, and that is all. And maybe there is a little changes or a little trick in the design. I can just quickly change that part and screen record that section and upload it again into the Google Drive. So it works for the person. So I'd advise that you
Nice.
know what works for your dev, right? It is pretty much important that you know what works for your dev. All right, so this is a new um design. I have not yet to document anything here, so I'll be trying it
Okay.
out. So first and
Okay.
foremost,
Okay.
let's make use of the dev mode, right? So we want to use the dev action button on Figma. So just switch to
Okay.
dev mode or just press Shift D. So it's brings you to the developer aspect of the Figma. So this is how it looks. It is pretty much simple, and it is built for designer too as well. So one thing I will do, or one tool I mostly used on dev mode is the measure tool. This is me trying to, like, give a measurement to all of my component on this design. So say for instance this no shopping icon or illustrations, I want to tell the dev that, okay, this thing has to be at the center, or maybe just give a particular measurement of how the card works or how the card looks. So it is just pretty much simple. Once I hover on it, you begin to see all of those red annotations line. You can just
Yeah.
drag it to
Yeah.
the side. So let's okay.
Okay.
Okay. What's going on here? What's going
So
on
this
here?
way you're indicating the spacing between each
Exactly.
of your
I'm just
elements.
yes, I'm just indicating the spacing between each of my elements. Right. I don't know what's going on. Okay, it works
Yeah,
now.
it's there.
So it can just, so it tells that my what's it called now? My spacing here is just 18 pixels. Right. All right. So let me do for this as well. So you might necessarily don't have to, do for all the screens. You just have to take
Okay.
some key screens that you know that because maybe peradventure you are using a reusable component, right? You just want to take some of those components and use it as an example. Because take for instance, you are dealing with a very huge project or a large project that includes a lot of screens. You don't want to be doing all of these things one after the other. It takes your time. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it takes
just
time.
it takes some of those key components, right? Like your buttons, height, and all of those things. So this is how it works. So peradventure you want to like now take an annotations of something. Say for instance you want this particular buttons or small modals to maybe change after they selected it.
Yeah.
You can just switch back to your design mode. So let's switch back to design mode right now. So I want to bring in or show an active state. All right. So this color combination right now does not work well.
Yeah.
All right, so it just wants to give an annotation. So just click on the annotation right here. You can just see it. So click on it. I love the way Figma does it. It does it well. So you can just write a note, a short note to the developer. This is how the active state looks like. And you can categorize it. Just click on the property. So it could be let's use maybe fill here. Fill works for it better. So it's there already. Figma automatically helps you. Change it.
Puts it there.
Funny
Yeah.
enough, funny enough, the fill I selected here is the text fill, not even the button fill. So let me try and use the button fill instead.
So this note, when your developer comes here and they're on dev mode, once they
Yes,
come, they would automatically just know this is the hover state.
yes, they get to know. Meanwhile, another way to it is to actually have your styles prepared as well. But many developer does not actually have time to be reading all of these things. I bet it with
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
They don't have the time to be going through all of these things. So it is pretty much simple that you have all of this little note and just tell them how it works basically. So say for instance, I'm actually done with all of these micro annotations and all. Once I click on share, and I copy the link and I send it to a dev. The way they would see it is definitely going to be different from a designer. How the designer going to be
Yeah.
saying it right because Figma has actually made it very simple for them, so they get to see all of those changes. I wish that I can, show that, but it's not going to show because I'm on the same account, so it's not going to show the
Yes.
dev
Yes.
aspect of it. So it's pretty much simple. Figma has actually done it in a such a way whereby they can get to see. In fact, if I just change this particular field and I switch back to the dev mode, they get a notification without even
That
having any
that has
annotation or
changed.
any comment. So it is pretty much simple and it tells them that this has changed. So that is my first process if I'm working on a very small project. So I get to do that. Secondly, if I want to show them a flow, I just use a particular plugin called Autoflow. This is it, Autoflow.
Yeah.
So just select your designs, plugin, Autoflow. Yeah, this is Autoflow. Autoflow is actually very simple to use and it is very, very seamless. So let me use Let me use white instead. Right. So just click on a particular screen and make sure you're holding shift. It's
Okay.
automatically just help you place the I mean the
Connect the
flow.
screen.
Exactly, connect the screen automatically. Just make sure that your hand is on shift and click on the screens. Another wonderful thing you can do with autoflow is that you can actually also add notes on each particular connector. Um, shopping shopping flow. So that's another wonderful thing you can actually do it.
So in addition to, have there been time where you had to annotate using the dev mode, but you still put like additional instruction through the
Yes,
flow?
yes, I do that. Example, this is how I did it most of the times. There's actually a plugin, to be honest. I just bless the design community for the privilege of using plugin. You can use annotation sticky notes. It is pretty much simple. You don't even have to, design anything. Just click on it. Let me try something new. Just click on it. You can get to see it. Say, this is it already.
Yeah.
Let me move it out. See what's going on. Okay, let me just type something basically. So this is it. Please ensure there is consistency. So this is how it works. You can give it different colors, anything you want to do, right? Then you can move it. We can move it out. So you can place it anywhere you want. It is pretty much simple like that. So let me now try one of the alternatives, which I really, really love so
Okay.
much. So let me use this screen as a scapegoat. So let me use this. So just click on it. Go to your plugin and search for its shape spec. Click on it. It's pretty much simple to as well. You can run the plugin, and you can, if you want to upgrade, it is pretty much fine. But I love the basic plan. It works perfectly well. So let's run it. It takes some time due to this is it
Yeah.
already. So I love the way it does everything for me.
Wow.
It simply just explain
So
and break
it takes your
down.
design, breaks
Yes,
everything down into
it's
like
spec.
another file and
Exactly.
just specs it out.
Exactly. And he document it. That's the most amazing part of the whole thing. He documented everything. So it's pretty much simple. Life is so much easier with all of this plugin, and I really appreciate it. So it's pretty much simple. You get to see all of your spacing. The spacing I was trying to do the other time where I was,
Yeah.
using manually using my dev mode in Figma. This guy can actually do everything for me. Gives you the size, the item spacing 28 pixels, and all of those things. It is pretty much simple. This is it. This is all I was trying to do manually the other time.
Yeah.
So that is how I basically hand over my work, to be
So
honest.
this helps you. I noticed there's one thing I noticed. You take advantage of, some of the ways to design and hand off without stressing anybody. Like the making use of like the right plugins you've mentioned. It's was it 8 square,
It's spec
8 spec,
plugin.
autoflow,
It's
also
spec.
even the insert annotation sticky. And
Yes.
I just wanted to find out, like, have engineers you've worked with recently, by helping them, properly spec out most of this, have they given you any feedback about this process? And is there anything they want you to, that people have asked you, okay, I want you to do more of this, I want you to do less of this?
Yeah, sure. I think that, however, in the recent times, I think one of the if I used shape plugins and all of those things to document my design, I think the only thing or the only feedback I get from my developers are basically just the flow aspect, not the documentation aspect. I think the
Hmm.
plugin has explained, most of the things how they would maybe need my help for. I don't know if you get. The
Yeah.
ones that might maybe ask a lot of questions are maybe the ones that I really do not want to read, and they just like enjoy it because most of the developers don't actually like reading. They just want to have a call with you. Some people,
And
persons
just
that
go
are
through it, spend
and
that
go
30
through.
minutes, be done with
Exactly.
it.
So I would advise designers to actually give them that time, to be honest, because I really want my designs come out a pixel perfect. So I just give them that time. I give them that time. So it is pretty much important.
Wow, this is I'm sure this is going to help a lot of people. And one thing I notice is your attention to details in your files, and I see you're very peculiar about your design coming out the same way it is in code. So you're taking the time to properly annotate and document,
Sure.
to ensure like this handoff is pretty much easy. I just wanted to also, kind of ask if have you had that time whereby probably you've worked with a developer that was new to Figma? Let's say this person is starting their journey. How did you? How was that communication like? Because I know that unlike there are some designers that are pretty much familiar with how Figma works
Yeah.
around. So for
Well,
like the yeah, how did you navigate that situation?
I've actually not come across developers that don't really, know about Figma, but I came across one in the past, and this is how we did it. Right? To be honest, I just have to take. I took that. I took the sacrifice of, explaining some basic things of how Figma works. To be honest, I recommended YouTube videos. The guy, if you want to, know how to use this particular tool very well as a
Yeah.
developer. These are the videos you need to watch. These are the things you need to do. So I recommended YouTube videos a lot because time is also precious. I cannot be
Yeah.
explaining how to work. So since the person is a developer, I don't have to go deep. So I just have to explain some basic things that he needs to learn and know on time. So that is just it. And that's how we're able to handle that situation basically.
And we've come to the part whereby we are going to ask. There are three rapid questions we are going to ask, and we just want to get your take on them. The first one is, what is the name of that meal, that food that you can eat any place, anytime, anywhere? What's the name of that meal?
I think that changes over time, to be honest. I used to like pounding yam and egusi soup. I think that I think
So
that's
now,
changed,
what has it changed to? What has it changed to?
to be very honest. I think it has changed to yam and egg.
So you're telling me now you can eat yam and egg
Any
anytime,
night,
any place.
anytime, to be very honest.
Wonderful. The second question I want to ask is, this is for younger designers.
All right.
What advice will you give to them, especially going into that are looking to get into UX, want to go into the field? What is an advice you would give for younger designers to help them get that proper migration into the UX field?
All right. So if I should get the questions right, you mean designers trying to transition into a UX design, right? All right.
No,
So
just like people going into UX design. It doesn't have to be specific. Just anyone trying to get into UX design. What is that advice you give to them?
all right, it's pretty much simple. I actually have a lot of advices, but this one stands out. It's pretty much understanding what you want to do, understanding what UX means. Because I pretty much, or let me say, I know that the design industry is pretty much saturated with a lot of people, a lot of creatives, a lot of designers, a lot of developers and the likes. Well, just to make sure that you understand something that can help you stand out, to be honest. And you cannot stand out when you don't understand the basics. So I would advise that you understand the basics first. It is the foundational truth of everything you want to do. When you understand the basics, it helps you build a correct a solid a solid career. It helps you build a solid career when you understand the basics, when you know what you are doing. So I would advise that you understand the basics and you follow people who actually knows road. There are a lot of good persons in the design community. Follow them, join community, to be honest. That is where you can, get your hands better in what you are doing.
Man, that's really awesome. Just to follow back on that, I also want you to kind of talk about those that are already in the design field. Now, these are for let's say junior designers that have, let's say, 1 to 2 to 3 kind of years of experience. They are looking to get into that realm of specialization, or getting into that senior designer status. how would they level up their design game? What advice would you give to people like that?
All right, so for people like that are looking forward to level up their design games, it is pretty much simple. The process might be hard, to be very honest, but it is still pretty much simple at the same time. I would advise number one, designers should read books. See, there are a bulk of knowledge stored in books. Look for design books. Look for people that, I mean, maybe they've recommended books in the past that it helps you. Because one of the things that I have realized that designers lacks is communication skills, how you can market your skills. Somebody was asking me particular questions on my LinkedIn page yesterday. They tagged me to a post and I was, I mean, giving a response. You want to learn how to market your skills very well, because, and this would take me back to, I mean, knowing the basics. If you know what you're doing, if you know your if you know your thing very well, you'll be very confident to be able to market yourself, to be able to put yourself on that table, even if you are not there yet. I don't know if you get me. So it
Yeah.
helps you a lot. When you get to know what you are doing, it helps you very much. So you want to, I mean, acquire knowledge. You want to read books, practice design a lot. If you know that, okay, you are still having maybe faults in maybe typography, maybe color combinations and all of those things, get to know all of those things. It helps you. It helps you. Just, I mean, it's just break down those things you know that you're having issues with and learn them one after the other. It's it's that's just it basically.
It kind of also ties back to the final question I wanted to ask. Which design book would you recommend for every designer out there to read
All right,
or
I
the
actually
name of
have,
that design book?
yeah, there is this, I've forgotten the name now. Is it 101 UX principle? I can't really remember the name right now.
UX Principle 101.
UX principle or design principle something. Let me quickly check that. I mean, it is a book that I really, really love so much. I'm going to get to the book. I really, really love that book. In fact, I'm hoping to read
101 UX Principle.
Principle. I'm trying to remember who wrote the book. Come on, I will get it.
Is it Will Grant?
This is Grant. Come, I will get it back. I have it. In fact, I've sent it to somebody recently. Yeah, no, it's Refactory UI. Yes, by Steve
Refactory UI.
Koga. Yes. To be honest, it is a very underrated and solid book. Please read that
What's the
book.
name? Refactoring UI.
Refactory UI.
By
It's a
who?
very by Steve Skogar.
Okay.
It is a very underrated book. It helps you understand the big principles of UX, basic principles of UX. Why you should use primary button here, why you should use secondary button here. Everything is well documented in that book. So I would advise designers to read it a lot. Another thing I do is to there is this particular website where I get to read design books a lot, and I read small articles on Medium about designs basically. So I read a lot of
Yeah.
books. There's this book I'm actually following on Twitter, which is X. Read with Revi. So it's a very valuable Twitter account that helps you. I mean, station on your mind and position yourself very well as a designer as well. So these are the things I would recommend, to be very honest.
Man, these are amazing resources that every designer out there will value from. Uh, Final question, final one. This time I prompt final one. While you were coming up in your design, and even now that you're an established UX designer with a wealth of experience, what who were some of those designers that kind of you looked up to then, and who is like who are those designers that kind of also you try to possibly like inspired you while you were embarking on your UX journey?
All right, so to be very honest, there are a lot of them. There are a lot of them. So let me start from this side of our let me start from, I mean, Nigeria, good Nigerian designers that I really looked up to back then when I was coming up. I have Ozenoa, I have Ray, I have Forbes, I have Uncle Leye. These are the people that I mean they get to. I just love studying their design when I see it. I have Imatsu. I cannot remember. Is it Emeka or Emma? These are very good, great designers that I really, really look up to. I mean, I looked up to them and I watched them. I have watched them closely over and over again to see what process they are using and all of those things. But when it comes to the international base, right, there are some designers I actually follow, like Ogus. There is this guy too that is currently pushing on Title UI. He's a very good designer. I follow him, and yeah. Who else again? I've mentioned Ogus. There is this guy. His name is Onogor in on X. Onurrur. That's his Twitter. I mean, these are very good designers that I follow. To be very honest, there is this guy to UI UX at Drain. These are, I mean, international designers that I mean they are pushing good stuffs. If you check my Twitter bookmarks, a lot of designs, good designs. I'm just studying them. I just bookmark and studying them. That's basically it.
Man, that's super amazing. I'll be sure to link your socials in the comments and possibly link the other people you've mentioned here. Hopefully, we can bring some of them to the show to talk about design. But we're very super grateful for you spending your time contributing back to the design community, and we're just really glad to have you.
Thank you.
Hopefully, people have learned a lot from this, and we can't wait to have you back on the channel again.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity too as well.
Thank you so much, Aya. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much,
much. Enjoy
Dennis.
your day.
Yeah, bye.